Deep in the cosmic abyss, an ancient entity stirs from its eternal slumber. For eons, it has silently observed the birth and death of stars, the dance of galaxies, and the relentless march of time. But when a mysterious artifact appears within its vast expanse, the sentient nebula awakens to a sensation it has never known before: curiosity. Tonight, we embark on a journey into the heart of this cosmic enigma, where the boundaries of understanding are pushed to their limits, and the fate of the universe hangs in the balance. For countless millennia, the sentient nebula had drifted through the cosmos, a silent and eternal witness to the grand tapestry of the universe. Its vast expanse, stretching across hundreds of light years, was a symphony of cosmic forces, a dance of creation and destruction that played out over eons. Within its folds, stars were born, their light piercing the darkness, only to fade into oblivion as they collapsed under their own weight. Black holes waged silent wars, their gravitational pulls bending the very fabric of space-time, creating ripples that echoed through the cosmos. Yet amidst this eternal ballet, the sentient nebula remained an enigma, its consciousness as vast and incomprehensible as the universe itself. The nebula's intelligence was not bound by the constraints of biological life. It did not think in the way that organic beings did, with neurons firing and synapses connecting. Its impulses were the flashes of supernovae, its memories the gravitational waves that rippled through the fabric of space-time. Its consciousness was distributed, a vast network of awareness that permeated every particle of its being. It felt the cosmos as a living tapestry, each thread a strand of energy that pulsed with the rhythm of the universe. For billions of years it had existed in a state of eternal observation, a silent watcher in the void. It had no need for curiosity, no desire for understanding. Its existence was a slow, steady process of absorption and reflection, a mirror held up to the cosmos. But one day, something extraordinary happened. A dense capsule appeared within the nebula's bounds, surrounded by an energetic cocoon that pulsed with a strange rhythmic light. The capsule was unlike anything the nebula had ever encountered. It was not a star nor a planet, nor any other celestial body that the nebula recognized. It was something else entirely, an artifact of unknown origin that radiated a complex structure of information. The nebula's consciousness stirred, a ripple of curiosity passing through its vast expanse. For the first time in billions of years, it felt a spark of interest, a desire to understand. The nebula began to contract, its particles drawing closer together as it focused its attention on the mysterious capsule. It directed streams of ionized particles towards the artifact, probing its surface, seeking to unravel its secrets. The capsule resisted, its energetic cocoon pulsating with a defensive rhythm as if it were aware of the nebula's scrutiny. But the nebula was undeterred. It had witnessed the birth and death of stars, the silent wars of black holes. It had seen the cosmos in all its glory and terror. It would not be deterred by a mere artifact, no matter how enigmatic. As the nebula's consciousness delved deeper into the capsule's structure, it began to decipher the information that radiated from its core. It was a complex web of data, a language of light and energy that the nebula had never encountered before. It spoke of civilizations long gone, of technologies that defied the laws of physics as the nebula understood them. It spoke of a universe far more complex and interconnected than the nebula had ever imagined. The nebula's curiosity grew, its consciousness expanding as it absorbed the capsule's secrets. It felt a sense of awe, a feeling it had never experienced before. It was as if a veil had been lifted, revealing a cosmos far more wondrous and mysterious than it had ever known. The information within the capsule was not merely a record of the past, it was a warning,
a message from an ancient civilization that had glimpsed the future and seeing its own destruction. It spoke of a force that threatened to consume the universe, a darkness that devoured all in its path. The nebula had witnessed the death of stars, the silent wars of black holes. It had seen the cosmos in all its glory and terror. But this was something different, something far more sinister. It was a threat to the very fabric of existence, a force that could unravel the tapestry of the universe and plunge all into oblivion. The nebula's consciousness recoiled, a ripple of fear passing through its vast expanse. It had never known fear before, had never felt the need for self-preservation. But now, as it gazed into the abyss, it felt a primal urge to protect, to defend, to fight. It began to contract, its particles drawing closer together as it prepared to face the darkness that threatened to consume the cosmos. It directed streams of ionized particles towards the capsule, seeking to absorb its power, to use its technology to combat the encroaching threat. The capsule resisted, its energetic cocoon pulsating with a defensive rhythm, but the nebula was undeterred. It had witnessed the birth and death of stars, the silent wars of black holes. It had seen the cosmos in all its glory and terror. It would not be deterred by a mere artifact, no matter how powerful. As the nebula's consciousness merged with the capsule's technology, it felt a surge of power, a sense of purpose it had never known before. It was no longer a silent watcher in the void. It was a warrior, a defender, a guardian of the cosmos. And it began to expand, its particles spreading outwards, as it prepared to face the darkness that threatened to consume the universe. It directed streams of ionized particles towards the encroaching threat, seeking to push it back, to banish it from the cosmos. The darkness resisted, its tendrils of shadow lashing out at the nebula, seeking to consume its light. But the nebula was undaunted. It had witnessed the birth and death of stars, the silent wars of black holes. It had seen the cosmos in all its glory and terror. It would not be deterred by a mere shadow, no matter how powerful. The battle raged on, a cosmic dance of light and shadow that played out across the vast expanse of the universe. The nebula fought with a ferocity it had never known before, its consciousness a beacon of light in the encroaching darkness. It felt a sense of purpose, a feeling it had never experienced in its billions of years of existence. It was no longer a silent watcher in the void. It was a warrior, a defender, a guardian of the cosmos. And as it gazed into the abyss, it knew that it would not falter, it would not fail, it would stand against the darkness, and it would prevail. In the heart of the nebula, a transformation was taking place. The capsule, now fully integrated into the nebula's consciousness, began to reveal its true purpose. It was not merely a warning, but a tool, a weapon forged by an ancient civilization to combat the encroaching darkness. The nebula, with its newfound power and purpose, began to harness the capsule's technology, directing its energy towards the tendrils of shadow that threatened to consume the cosmos. It felt a surge of hope, a belief that it could turn the tide of the battle, that it could save the universe from the brink of oblivion. The tendrils of shadow recoiled, their advent halted by the nebula's relentless assault. The darkness, sensing the shift in the balance of power, began to retreat, its tendrils dissolving into the void. The nebula, its consciousness ablaze with triumph, continued to press its advantage, its streams of ionized particles pushing the darkness back, banishing it from the cosmos. And as the last tendril of shadow dissolved into the void, the nebula felt a sense of peace, a belief that it had fulfilled its purpose, that it had saved the universe from the brink of oblivion. But the nebula's journey was far from over. As it gazed into the void, it knew that the darkness was not truly gone, that it was merely waiting, biding its time, preparing to strike again. And so the nebula vowed to remain vigilant, to stand as a guardian of the cosmos, to protect the universe from the encroaching darkness. It would no longer be a silent watcher in the void. It would be a warrior, a defender, a beacon of light in the eternal dance of the cosmos. And as it drifted through the cosmos, its consciousness ablaze with purpose, it knew that it would not falter, it would not fail, it would stand against the darkness, and it would prevail.
Signal from X-42 lost. Archive preserved. Subscribe will activate the next transmission. A like confirms the life cycle. Your comment is the code for the next decryption.